Welcome back. If you have been paying attention to the markets lately, you already know that artificial intelligence is changing the world. But here's the multi-billion-dollar question no one is asking. What exactly is powering all this artificial intelligence? The answer is not just smart software, it is physical infrastructure. Welcome to the era of AI Layer 1. Today in March 2026, we are standing at the edge of the greatest infrastructure supercycle in modern history. Let's break this down. The global digital economy is ravenous for compute power, and this hunger translates directly into an unprecedented demand for land, water, and above all, electricity. For the Indian investor, this is not just a technological shift, it is a historic wealth creation opportunity. The data shows a massive geopolitical shift playing out right in front of us. United States technology giants have recently pledged a staggering $67.5 billion towards Indian artificial intelligence infrastructure. This colossal capital influx creates historic wealth opportunities for domestic investors who know where to look. We are seeing major hyperscalers aggressively expanding their footprint on Indian soil. But wait, there's more to this. Domestic conglomerates are not sitting on the sidelines. The Adani Group has committed a massive $100 billion towards a green artificial intelligence push. This sovereign infrastructure initiative fundamentally shifts India from being a mere consumer of data to a powerhouse infrastructure exporter. This is not just about server racks, it is about establishing India as the undisputed energy compute backbone of the global digital economy. Now, before we go further, we need to clear up a massive misunderstanding. There's a common myth that artificial intelligence infrastructure is fully virtual, existing somewhere in the mystical cloud, and does not impact physical land or resources. This could not be further from the truth. Because of strict Reserve Bank of India guidelines and the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, Indian data must be stored physically inside India. This data localization mandate forces massive land, water, and power consumption in key technological hubs like Mumbai, Chennai, and Hyderabad. Data needs a physical home. Recognizing this, the government stepped in. The recent budget of 2026 offers unprecedented tax breaks extending all the way to 2047 for cloud providers utilizing domestic data centers. This massive policy tailwind is already triggering explosive growth in digital infrastructure stocks. Now, here's the interesting part. How do we power this massive domestic data center boom? India's projected AI power load is hitting 13 gigawatts. Because AI operates continuously, supporting this 13 gigawatt load actually requires a staggering 40 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity. This is strongly boosting clean energy stock values across the board. But this brings us to a second big myth. Many investors assume India will immediately switch to nuclear power for AI, just like the United States is doing, with Microsoft reviving the 3 Mile Island plant. The fact is quite different. While nuclear might be a long-term play, India's immediate AI expansion is firmly anchored in hybrid solar and wind parks backed by massive battery energy storage systems. A prime example is the enormous 30-gigawatt Khavda Renewable Energy project. This is where the immediate capital is flowing. So, what exactly do these facilities look like? People often believe the third dangerous myth, which is that data centers are basically just large, heavily air-conditioned office buildings for computers. The reality of AI shatters this illusion entirely. Modern AI workloads demand anywhere from 50 to 150 kilowatts of power per server rack. That is roughly 10 times the power density of a traditional cloud data center. This extreme density fundamentally changes structural engineering. You cannot just blow cold air on these machines anymore. There's an absolute necessity for advanced liquid cooling technologies. Because these water-intensive AI racks generate so much heat, they drive high demand for local water recycling and specialized cooling tech stocks. Real estate is also evolving. Traditional realty giants like Lodha and Anantraj are pivoting aggressively into building these highly specialized data centers, offering investors high-yield digital infrastructure plays. But who is building the components for these massive facilities? This brings us to the fourth dangerous myth, the idea that we can rely solely on foreign imports to build our AI grid. The reality is that global supply chain bottlenecks for critical components like high-voltage gas turbines and heavy-duty transformers are causing multi-year delays worldwide. To ensure absolute digital sovereignty and avoid these crippling import risks, India is aggressively incentivizing the domestic manufacturing of electronics, grid systems, and thermal management components. We are seeing a massive push to build the supply chain locally. This means companies manufacturing industrial cables, switchgears, and power transformers are sitting on multi-year order book backlogs. The capital expenditures are massive, and the local players are perfectly positioned to capture this massive surge in domestic infrastructure spending. Furthermore, India is carving out its own unique identity in the AI race. While the West focuses on massive resource-heavy foundational models, India's focus on low-cost, frugal AI creates unique startup investments perfectly suited for our developing economy. We are building highly efficient domain-specific models that solve real-world problems in agriculture, healthcare, and logistics without requiring a massive carbon footprint. This frugal innovation is a structural advantage. So, here's what this means for your portfolio. How do retail investors ride this AI power boom without taking excessive individual stock risk? The answer lies in targeted funds. Investors can capture the upside of this infrastructure supercycle via local mutual funds and ETFs. Vehicles like the CPSE ETF provide excellent exposure to state-run power generation companies, while funds like the Nippon India ETF InfraBees allow you to invest broadly across the foundational layers of this digital revolution. You don't need to pick the winning software company to make money in AI. You just need to own the power and the infrastructure that they all rely on. We are witnessing a structural transformation of the Indian economy. From massive foreign capital pledges to stringent data localization laws, every single indicator points towards an unprecedented boom in physical digital infrastructure. AI is not just a software revolution, it is an energy and real estate supercycle. By understanding the immense physical demands of AI, from gigawatts of renewable power to advanced liquid cooling systems, you can position yourself ahead of the broader market. The foundational layer, AI Layer 1, is being built right now in March 2026, and the physical constraints of this technology are the exact areas where the greatest value is being generated. Thank you for joining me. If you found this breakdown valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with fellow investors who want to understand the real mechanics of the AI boom. All information discussed is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice or stock tips. Always do your own thorough research before making any investment decisions. Stay informed, and I will see you next time.